We are back here with Miss Janet from Atlanta, Georgia. Going into her Chalk Talk interview, Miss Janet, this will be broken into 4 quarters since we are in sports and entertainment. First quarter being our preseason, which will be a brief introduction. Second quarter will be our training days, which will be your early high school and college years. Third quarter being your current role today, and then in and off in the playoffs with some career advice for our high school students. So jumping right into your preseason, this will just be your name, where you're from, and where you work, as well as your official job title.
Alrighty, so I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, born and raised there. Went to school at UC Santa Barbara, so go Gauchos. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I recently accepted a role with the Georgia World Congress Center. I'm the Corporate Social Responsibility and Sustainability Manager, but I have over 12 years of experience working in professional sports with 3 different teams within 3 different leagues.
And what would those leagues be? If you don't mind, let's go into a little bit of depth.
No, not at all. So I've worked with the LA Galaxy, which is my little championship ring. In soccer in their MLS. I worked with the Los Angeles Lakers, NBA, and most recently I worked in Major League Baseball with the Atlanta Braves.
What is one aspect of working in sports do you appreciate the most, being that you have all these different experiences with a lot of different leagues in sports?
One aspect that I appreciate is just the opportunity to be creative, the opportunity to lead legacy projects. The people that I've met along in my career have been amazing. They have resulted in great mentors and really great friends as well. And of course, the opportunity to partake in what comes with sports, whether it's being part of a championship team or the opportunity of going to like all-star games.
When you were younger, initially, what did you want to do for a career?
So interestingly enough, I never thought that I was going to be in sports. I didn't like sports. I credit my older brother, George, for instilling in me this interest in sports. My grandmother enrolled me in a youth center when I was a little kid to kind of keep me off the streets and keep me occupied. And my brother happened to work in that youth center and he enrolled me into sports. I had a taste of what sports philanthropy is at a really young age. I remember going to a sports banquet and having AC Green and Magic Johnson come to the youth center and give all the youth in that youth center their award. And so I will always have that memory ingrained in me. And then fast forward, I'm in a position now where I am the person that is coordinating those types of visits and those types of initiatives. And so I am a testament that philanthropy, community giving, the platform of sports does influence change and can influence somebody's life into a path that they never thought about. Growing up in high school, I was heavily involved in a lot of nonprofits. I also was involved in a lot of leadership. I was in the yearbook club. And so those nonprofit working, volunteering, fundraising, planning events was always there. And so when I went to college, I still had some of those elements present in my life. The common thing in my experience was the giving back portion and planning something that benefited someone else or another community. And that was like the consistent factor in everything that I had an involvement in.
What was the time that you remember that you actually really considered it being a career for you in your career?
When I was deciding whether I wanted to do a master's program or not, I went to visit a couple of master's programs, and I actually went to Georgia State University and I sat in the class. And I was getting ready to apply to their sports administrations class. And in this particular class, they sat and they talked about the different careers and they talked about community relations. And I was like, community relations? What is that? And the person was describing that they have an opportunity to work with different nonprofits and youth leagues, and they bring players out and they do fundraising and they have different initiatives. And I was like, oh, I think that's what I want to do. I think so. And so I finally had a name for it. It was community relations. And I mean, the bigger umbrella is sports philanthropy, social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, just this idea of a brand, a company, a sports team, using their resources to influence the community that they work, play, and serve.
Absolutely. And building off that point, being that you've been in this space where you obviously influenced a lot of young people like myself, giving back to the communities of lesser, what is a project or a campaign that you've personally worked on that has really inspired you and changed your perspective on sports and entertainment?
In my early sports career, there was a devastating earthquake in Haiti. I was part of a earthquake relief effort in which we had asked fans to come and donate supplies. And we were able to donate a lot of materials that then got transported to Haiti and given to the communities over there. And so being able to do international relief is something that stays close to my heart.
But what is another skill that's kind of helped you succeed and sustain in your sports industry career?
Definitely language. In my early years at the Atlanta Braves, I found myself translating pocket schedules and writing press releases and translating voiceovers and commercials of some sort. But I would say another skill set, creativity and being able to think outside the box, and definitely keeping a pulse on the industry, definitely keeping myself in tune with what's happening in the nonprofit world as well, and how that can influence some of the fundraising or some of the activities that we're doing. And another thing that is important on the sports philanthropy side too is measuring your impact and looking at how you are really making a change in the way that you're either donating resources, fundraising, are the organizations that you're working with, are they using the dollars that you're donating to them and making long-term impact on that? How is the impact sustainable?
And speaking to your point of measuring your impact, we gotta end it off with some career advice for our high school students. If you could go back and tell young Jeanette one piece of advice, what would you tell yourself?
Timing is everything, and be patient. And I say that because I always said as a high school student that I wanted to work for the Lakers. And I had that opportunity to work for them really early in my career. I actually applied for that role 2 years before I actually got it, and I got rejected. And I applied for that same role a year and a half later, and I got it. And the difference between the first time I applied for it and I didn't get it and the second time I applied for it was I learned more in exactly what I wanted to do, and my network had grown. And I had met individuals within my circle that were able to vouch for me and say, yes, Janet is an amazing teammate. You know, she's creative. She's very passionate about the community. And so when I applied the second time and I got it, I knew that it was meant for me to get it the second time than it was the first time. And don't get me wrong, like I took an L the first time I applied for it. It was a lesson to remind myself that things happen for a reason.
I think an important thing to realize through your different career paths is just the level of determination and grit that you've constantly showed through each experience. So rounding it off, what is the next step a high school student should take to eventually be in a career path such as yours?
So I definitely would say is take a note of the things that interest you. I always say that you want to enter into a career path that if you can do it for free, you would. And I like giving, I like volunteering, I like raising money. I was doing it so much that it just comes natural to me. I am very privileged and blessed to be in a position to use sports and entertainment to give back. So be aware of some of the things you dedicate your time to right now. Like make a mental note of those things. In fact, even pull out your phone to write a little note on there, because the things that you focus your time on are some of the things that later on you're going to make the connection of the type of work that you want to do. I commend you that you're taking the time to sit here and listen to me and listen to all of these professionals about our careers, because you are already like 5 steps ahead of where I was. The fact that you're taking the time and investing in yourself, it is so critical. If you get an opportunity, try it. There's always a good lesson out of that, and make note of what makes you excited.
I want to conclude this with my sincerest gratitude towards you, Miss Jeanette. High school students, be on the lookout for more content we have coming soon. We have a bunch more industry professionals such as Miss Jeanette Sevilla coming up for you guys. So peace.
Bye.